Welcome to Rage You Nerds. I am Mr. Cack, and I am joined on this Thursday by Al. Hi, Al.
Hello.
We are the Nerds, and we're here to rage.
The dinghy.
And we got some stuff to rage about. Before we get to anything that may be planned or otherwise, there's a rant a brewing, and it's a fairly simple one. The early screenings of the Flash movie, starring that scumbag Ezra Miller, are wildly popular. People are saying, with probably the thickest hyperbole, because I don't know how you even quantify this, that this is maybe the best DC film ever. So I throw it to you, Al. What do you think about that?
Did I just hear the words "best DC film ever" come out of your mouth?
I'm paraphrasing what people said, Al.
If that's what people are thinking, then I don't know, man. You've got to be shitting me if that's what you're going to say about this movie, because the best DC movie has been made 10, 15 years ago now, and it's all been garbage since then. And this is everything I've seen on this looks like garbage. I hate critics because they always are dissing on every movie that comes out, and then they'll love a movie that comes out and it'll be hot garbage. So I just can't go with that. So especially with all the controversies behind it, there's no way it could be the greatest movie ever from DC. Why would they get rid of everybody if it was the greatest movie of DC?
It's a very good point. Let's see some Twitter comments from Eric Davis at Eric Davis. DC's The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC. It is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer. Inventive storytelling. Fantastic action sequences. Great cast. So many nerdy details. I'm in tears at the end. Everything you want from a superhero film and more. Scott Manzel of Scott D. Manzel says, The Flash is hands down one of the best superhero films of all time. No joke. The Flash is the ultimate movie-going experience as it has a little bit of everything. Action, emotion, heart, humor, and plenty of nostalgia. Ezra Miller is phenomenal as Barry Allen's. Michael Keaton, I'm sure, is Golden God. He typed too long. Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle are very good also. This is a film that audiences will be watching over and over again. Oh, and avoid all the spoilers you can for this movie because there are some really incredible surprises that will truly blow you away. I cannot wait to see this again, says someone that paid for a blue check mark on Twitter to be able to type a goddamn novel. Jay Hoffman at Jay Hoffman says, The Flash! Far more madcap than I expected. Really nailed what reading a 5-issue crossover comic book is like. Tons of Ezra Miller being zany and time paradox stuff. Nerds will lose their minds at the ending and beginning and middle. Comics! That's literally, he just puts comics! Exclamation mark. At Rob_Key says, just watch The Flash at CinemaCon. It has some stuff in it that you will not believe, and it showcases much more of Barry Allen's powers. It is indeed one of DC's best and fits nicely as the bridge story between the old and new DCEU franchises. It is also the funniest DC movie. And last but not least, there's more, but I'm going to stop at this one. At Jermaine Lucier says, yep. Hashtag The Flash is as good as rumored. It's Back to the Future meets Spider-Man No Way Home with all the humor and heart of the former and action and surprises of the latter. If anything, it might be a tad bit too ambitious, but it's also just incredibly satisfying, heartwarming, and fun. Last thing I'll say, Al, because I'm not reading any more quotes, is this. Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is on record saying that he asked the production crew to take pictures of him in the Batsuit so he could show his grandson. Michael Keaton is hands down the coolest damn person and the sole reason I'm going to go watch this film.
I mean, that's a good reason. I mean, it's been what, how many, 40?
So his first play as Batman would have been 1989.
Yeah, a long time ago.
That's when my wife was born. So what, 30 something? 30 something. I don't even know how old my wife is. I'm 33. I'm 36. So she would be 33. Whatever.
If for any reason I watched this movie, it would just be for that sole purpose. I can guarantee you it's not the greatest DC movie that's been made. You can't say the Batman Christian Bale trilogy is not the greatest of all time. Like, how are you gonna just put this over that, especially with all the controversies behind it?
So clearly we haven't seen it. It's not out for us plebs yet. Right now, if I had to just suddenly grab two films as my top two superhero, not just DC, superhero films, it's The Dark Knight and it's Captain America Winter Soldier. And I don't know, I'm sure I've ranked them before at some point in the years of doing this weird podcast hobby, but I don't have a definitive, this one's one, this one's two. I think both of them are probably hands down the best comic book superheroes, whatever you want to call them, movies that I can think of just right off the cuff. I think the Spider-Mans are pretty solid. The first Spider-Man 2 of the Tobey Maguire era, it used to be held as one of the, if not the best superhero / comic book movie ever until Christopher Nolan got a hold of Batman. So, I mean, it's going to have to be pretty eye-popping. I think it's hilarious that there's also an article online that's fans' backlash against critics' love of Ezra Miller, which is fair. It's kind of what you're saying, right? It's one, do you trust critics? And two, isn't it a bit weird that critics, for as much as critics rail against the trolls are going to tear this one apart, or this one, the trolls will hate, they're kind of rooting for a troll right now in Ezra Miller and all that they encompass, which is just a load of insanity. But whatever. I think as a movie goer and one that wants to see, I'll be honest, I think Marvel dropped the ball with their multiverse so far. I think they haven't had nearly as much fun as they should have with their multiverse, and I hope to God that this movie is good in the sense that they fully play up the whole, we have a bunch of alternate universes, maybe we should make the most of that, because if they do, then hopefully that encourages Marvel to step up their game with the remainder of their multiverse saga, if that is still a thing that's happening, as Jonathan Majors is in deep shit. So I hope that I hope that this is good, because then I hope it's just a wake-up call to Marvel, be like, man, we should have done a lot more with the Multiverse of Madness, or man, we should have they did about as much as you could honestly hope with Spider-Man No Way Home. I think they could have still had a little bit more fun with it, but I think for the most part, they did everything we wanted. They brought in the Spider-Man that we know from the silver screen, and they brought in villains that we, for the most part, enjoyed. I don't think anyone was clamoring for Sandman to make a return, but he had a good showing in that movie. So, I kind of hope they would have give Topher Grace just a second chance, kind of like they did to reconcile Andrew Garfield's role as Spider-Man. Because I think that was also part of Spider-Man No Way Home, was just like the therapeutic process of like, Andrew Garfield was broken. let's fix him back up and show the world, actually, y'all were just being really hard on that Spider-Man. It wasn't that bad. And everyone's like, they're right, it wasn't that bad. We'd watch another one. Probably shouldn't have killed Gwen Stacy, but whatever. But it paid off in that film, so I guess it all works out. I don't know. But I hope it is good, but I also hope it's bad. I don't know what I want. it's one of these weird things where you're just kind of conflicted because Ezra Miller is a turd. No matter their pronouns, they're a turd. And Michael Keaton, on the other hand, I just want to see him succeed and have a fun time, and I want his grandkids to love that he's Batman, and I want him to be a cool Batman.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have just made a Batman movie.
So you talked about Jonathan Majors, right?
Yep.
Ezra Miller did it 3 times, but it's not even been proven that Jonathan Majors did it. So, but he's under fire right now. And then you keep Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I just don't understand.
2 different studios. House of Mouths has a much quicker trigger finger. Even though they probably don't support guns, they have a much quicker trigger finger, as we saw with James Gunn. And they immediately regretted that decision because they were like, oh, crap, he's going to make money for another studio. Bring him back. Bring him back. And now he still is like, well, F y'all, all y'all. Y'all don't like me, blow me. Y'all going to keep messing around, turn me back to the old me. Because nowadays, everybody want to talk with you. Got something to say. When it comes out and move the lips, just a bunch of gibberish. Motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre. It's part of like a thing where I just have to finish that. You just got to go through all of that motion. I can't leave it lingering. It bothers me. But yeah, so I agree. But I also understand that we're still in the we're still in the society mob rule that it's much easier and quicker to cancel someone now and be damned whatever may come of that. I think things are starting to ease up to where people at least get a chance to see what the situation is, and this isn't us condoning abuse if he is found guilty. If it's true what he alleged did is what he did, then I hope all of the worst things to him. At the same time, like, I'm not Judge Judy and executioner, man. Like, I can't sit here and say definitively anyone's guilty. But I can tell you when I think someone's a rat bastard, and I think Ezra Miller's a rat bastard. I think Jonathan Majors is on the chopping block. We'll see. But gosh damn it, Michael Keaton isn't.
Yep.
As far as I'm aware, he may. I mean, I'm sure an article will come out that he did something wrong too, and at that point in time, you can't trust anyone. All of Hollywood's corrupt, and it's fine. All right. We ranted. We ranted. We did. We accomplished the assigned task. Seems like from the trailer, they have something here that could be good. And there's some buzz. I'm excited. I buy into the hype. So, good trailer. Good job. Let's get to our rant. It's a segue from what we've just been doing, so I'm excited. But here's my rant topic for you boys. People that have that have recently saw a first screening of this, have come out with these comments, boys, and I'm curious as to what it makes you feel. Scott Manzel, at Scott D. Manzel, says, The Flash is hands down one of the best superhero films of all time. No joke. The Flash is the ultimate movie-going experience as it has a bit of everything. Action, emotion, heart, humor, and plenty of nostalgia. So there's that. And to follow up with that, at Eric Davis says, DC's The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC. It is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer, inventive storytelling, fantastic action sequences, great cast. So many nerdy details. I'm in tears at the end. Everything you want from a superhero film and more. And I'll do one last, I'll do 2 last ones. At Nicola Oss says, The Flash is compelling, character-driven flick with a real emotional core and game-changing stakes. With heart and humor aplenty, along with some shocks and surprises, there's so much to be excited for. Keaton steals the show with a terrific performance. A real love letter to DC. And the last one is from El Mayambe. Believe the hype. Christopher Nolan movies aside, the Flash movie is the greatest DC movie of the last 30 years that belongs in the same conversation as Superman 78 and Batman 89. The movie breaks incredible new ground with superhero cinema and honors DC lores of years past. Boys, there's a lot of positive hype. A lot of positive hype coming out for this. There's the Ezra Miller equation of all this and how they factor into it. There is also people coming into fire about how the critics seem to love this, yet aren't saying anything about the Ezra Miller equation. Like, maybe they're just deciding to gloss over that, where if the roles were reversed, they would be crushing us, the audience moviegoers, for panning someone like we did Brie Larson and the Marvel, the Captain Marvel movie, which was kind of a dog shit movie. So, we have a situation here where critics love it. Audience members want critics held accountable for their lack of criticism. People seem to genuinely be excited about this, but there is one central claim that has been repeated over and over again by these stooges on the internet, and I want you boys to weigh in. Could this possibly be the best superhero movie we have seen ever?
TJ, before you go, I just want to say one thing.
Take it.
Well, I'm actually going to be very mild here. I've got a lot of things that I feel like I want to say, but I just had a moment of clarity where I'm like, Now, while I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I do not believe this is going to be the best superhero movie of all, much less the best DC superhero movie of all time. As far as I'm concerned, the late Christopher Reeves taking a shit in his undergarments is possibly better than this film. Yes, I said it. I don't care. However, I'm erring on the side of caution and reason and saying that I have not seen it yet, so I cannot be too harsh. However, also, this is a big also, I know what these losers, I know what these idiots look at on the internet when they go see this and they go post this stuff like that. And I'm not convinced they aren't paid to say that to generate hype. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I'm just saying, is it possible? Ask yourself. Because there's a whole lot of controversy surrounding a certain character in this, which I think is why, maybe, just throwing it out there, they said, maybe we should make a shift. It's still a Flash movie, but let's get some more Batman in there and maybe take the heat off of somebody else. I'm not saying they did that. Once again, I would never be accusatory in that sense. I am going to try my best to hold back, just in the respect of the fact that I have not seen it yet. These could be spot on opinions by these people. They could be. I doubt it, but they could be. They could be. So I'm going to try to remain open. I'm going to try to remain non-aggressive-ish. And with that, I say, TJ, take it away.
I'm 100% in agreement with Jared on this, because for one, how dare you say it's the best superhero movie ever made? How dare you? You know, there are plenty of good superhero movies made. But the best? Come on. Second of all, yeah, I mean, this isn't people like actual fans who get to go to a test screening, right? These are critics that have seen this movie, right? So there's no way in hell that you would be able to convince me that these critics actually loved this movie and thought it was one of the greatest movies they've ever seen without, I mean, I need to see their bank statements. I need to see where the payoff came from. Plain and simple. Because given the controversy surrounding a certain someone, that, you have to build hype for this movie. And what way, how are you going to build hype for it? Keep in mind, this is something that, when James Gunn took over DC, he let basically 2 films go through, Aquaman 2, which was surrounded with controversy based on a certain actress in the movie, and The Flash. Certain, controversy surrounding a certain person in the movie. um, you think, okay, well, first thing that went through my mind is after these two movies weren't canceled was one, uh, Michael Keaton's in this. It's Michael Keaton's big return as Batman. It's already been hyped for over a year. Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman, right? You're not going to cancel that. And that's, in my opinion, the only reason the movie wasn't canceled was because Michael Keaton was coming back. Now, keep in mind, they did a Batgirl movie and had the movie 100% finished, was down to just editing at that point. And they canceled it. Michael Keaton was supposed to be in it. But of course, I can understand canceling something. You don't want Michael Keaton's big return as Batman being in Batgirl before The Flash comes out because it's taken 10 years to make the Flash movie. But yeah, there's no way that this wasn't 100% paid for by Warner Brothers to hype up the movie to try to shift focus away from certain controversies surrounding the film. I will see the movie whenever it comes to HBO Max or whatever the streaming service is called at that point in time. Whenever it does, I'll see the movie. Will I think it'll be one of the greatest? Probably not. I mean, I've seen, the first and second Superman 1 and 2, right?
How dare they compare that?
Multiple cuts of Superman 1 and 2, right? I've seen those, I've seen, the Batman, 89 Batman movie, wonderful movie. The Nolan movies were good. Hell, I think even, the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League was really good. I think at this point, the only saving grace to the movie is Michael Keaton and whatever cameos that they can throw in there that they tried to throw in there to basically get people to come to see the movie. Because let's face it, if this was just Ezra Miller as the Flash, doing whatever, fighting whoever, with no Michael Keaton, no Ben Affleck, no all these other cameos, no Supergirl, no nothing, just Ezra Miller's Flash fighting whatever Flash villains they decided to concoct for this movie, which was probably originally going to be Reverse Flash, which is, typical. It's usually who you'd think of when you think the Flash is the Reverse Flash, which Jared, so the Reverse Flash is basically a guy dressed in a yellow suit with a backwards Flash symbol on his chest. Hence Reverse Flash. There's a whole backstory I can give you, but you don't care, so I'm not gonna. This is the only.
I'm just
only
happy
saving
the fact
grace.
that you agree with me.
Yeah, this is the only saving grace of the movie is Michael Keaton, even Ben Affleck, because a lot of people have said he's the least worst thing about Batman v Superman.
Very true.
All the cameos. It's the only saving grace. Otherwise, 100% this movie would have been dropped as soon as certain allegations came to light. They would have said, you know what, we're cutting it, we're destroying the movie right now, we're not going to go forward with it. Especially, I think James Gunn would have, they'd have done it. That being said, I'm making a prediction.
Ooh.
And I want this prediction to be on record, since I haven't seen the movie, so that we can go back and look at it after I do see the movie and see either how right or how
prediction. Sorry,
what I say.
I said you want us to look at your prediction.
Yeah, he was stressing the diction of your prediction.
Oh yeah. So
like a penis.
That's the joke,
thank you, Jared.
Jared.
I don't think anyone would have understood that, Jared. I thought I said something else, and that's why you're like prediction.
No.
So you're just making a dick joke. I get it. That's funny. Ha ha. Fuck you. So anyway, my prediction is the Flash has, something goes on with Batman. Ben Affleck's in the first of the movie. He decides, you know what? I'm going to change things. I'm going to go back in time because wham, I'm a baby. Runs back in time, changes everything, goes back. That's whenever he meets the Michael Keaton and the other version of himself, right? And then all of a sudden, They'd have to save Supergirl and fight off Zod, but Zod ends up winning, and the only way for Flash to save everything is to run back in time and stop himself from doing all that shit. And then that's where we get the new DC universe, is that timeline. That's my prediction, because that's how Flashpoint ended.
All right, I've marked down your timestamp, TJ, so we can go back and see if you were right or wrong. TJ, you asked a question about if where's the bad Flash? I think the bad Flash might be one of the two Flashes we see on the screen, especially since they had that angsty moment there where long-haired one was like, "No one can die!" because he's being the best Hayden Christian Anderson of the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. The Hayden Christensen.
See, that doesn't sound like
angsty.
the bad Flash, because you think the dark Flash would be like, no, everyone can die. I'm dark.
So now you say that, but I think there's the whole conundrum there. What is he doing to ensure that no more people die? Is he just going along with Zod? Did he go against the vigilantes? Because we have Supergirl in that trailer say, "What did you do?" Because she has a deeper voice than Ezra Miller. So there's a lot going on.
As do most.
There's a lot going on. I think it's also interesting that I've never noticed it before, but one Barry, especially the Barry that we've seen introduced in the Justice League film, has blue lightning and a stupid suit. Meanwhile, this one started out with a Flash with a good suit and yellow powers, which is very much the traditional Flash thing. Have we been watching the evil Flash this entire gosh darn time? If they do, well, I think we have, because Ezra Miller is an asshole. But yeah. I think I'd be cool with that. Listen, I hate that this movie's probably gonna be good. I can't in my right mind say that it's gonna be better than one of the best comic book movies in my mind, Captain America Winter Soldier. I think that's one of the best, mainly because it's not really a comic book movie. It's basically a spy versus spy movie with a lot of what Jared wants, and that was ass kicking. Okay. So, but I also like The Dark Knight, and of course the first Batman, 89 for me. Was my mom has the story of me crying, so she has to stop watching the damn movie. I am eternally linked to the Batman 89 film as an annoying 2-year-old that cried and ruined my mom's movie-going experience.
So my first Batman movie, and is probably what I'm going to consider the best superhero movie of all time, was the '66 Batman with Adam West, where he has to fight a shark. He has to get rid of a bomb. And he has to take on,
which sometimes you just can't do.
Sometimes you just can't get rid of a bomb. He has to take on the Riddler, the Joker, the Penguin, and Catwoman, all and somehow I can't think of the word. Rehydrating the whole United Nations.
You sure can rehydrate a pizza.
Jared, what is your favorite superhero movie?
Listen, I'm just here to drop one-liners. What was the question again? I'm sorry. I was talking and there was a delay. I was like, "What was your?" And I said something about a pizza.
What's your favorite superhero movie?
Batman 1989, baby.
All right.
100% hands down. A close second would be Civil War. Captain America Civil War. I think that's a good one. I think, excuse me, I think Civil Warage. I believe Civil Warage was the greatest Avengers movie of all time. I thought Civil War was a lot better than Infinity War and Endgame, just because of that breakdown in the structure, between good. They had to, who's more gooder? Who's more gooder? Is it Cap? Is it Iron Man? Who's going to be more gooder? Because I agree, and I'm Team Cap all the way, by the way. I see both sides of that argument. It's maybe we should have people tell us that some things are out of bounds, and Cap's like, no, let's kick ass because we're good people, and good people kick ass to bad people. And I'm like, I get that too. But no, for me, my favorite absolutely has to be the original 1989 Batman.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you're watching right now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Coming up very soon, we are going to have the top 10 most iconic movie scores of all time. And I'm just saying, Danny Elfman in 1989 could have possibly made that list. So, like, comment below, like, subscribe, and keep a lookout on the channel because we got some good stuff heading your way, right? Yeah.
Jared did really good thumbnails, TJ. I don't know if he's shown you.
Did I show you, TJ?
Not yet. You showed me. First of all, you made me watch the Raisin, so you can go.
I watched it too, and I feel so broken. Of like,
okay,
why?
So
this is the thing. He tells me. He goes. This is not a horror short.
It's really
but I want you to go in thinking it is a horror short. I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to think it's a horror short now when you've already told me it's not a horror short?
Well, and that's why when I told you this, when I text you, CAC, I was like, I'm not telling anything about horror. I'm like, you need to watch it right now.
See, so I thought it was on your list for the horror stuff, so I went in thinking it was a horror, and that gave me a layer of tension the entire time, where I was like, okay,
you're thinking about these
he's gonna
raisins about to explode into like a dinosaur or something.
I was like, he's about to just smoke this lady with a shotgun, or she's gonna like stab him. But no, it's just some old dude with peanuts in his drawers.
Yep.
You know what's funny is I saw a bag of chocolate covered raisins on the counter the other day, and I thought about sending a picture to Jared and being like, motherfucker.
I counted 3,422 of these, and then which I would probably call TJ a liar after that. If you've seen the film, you know. Don't go. Just
go read the YouTube comments if you haven't.
Actually, no. Watch it.
Go read the YouTube comments for the video, just because people are like, this is a profound movie. Like, is it really?
That's where I realized. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? People are going to rip them apart. And I was like, I like how he really did this. It showed that he would never be accepting of himself if he could not accept this. And I'm like, I fucked up.
It's just an asshole who made some old lady count raisins.
There was literally one person that's like, this is so true to the family experience.
Yes!
We all have this one person in our family, and we see it continue. They're like, y'all are reading too much. I do not have anyone in my family that that puts a bunch of peanuts down their
in his drawers. There's not. I draw from it what you will. He's got raisins in his drawers.
Here's the thing, right? He goes and buys like 2 sacks of potatoes and a bunch of chocolate covered raisins, right?
Which looks
so
like
here's
lima
my
beans,
question.
by the way.
Here's my question.
Not lima
Why the
beans,
hell do you put the chocolate covered raisins down your underpants?
Maybe he ran out of room in the bag and he had to carry them home in his shorts.
TJ,
and by the way,
you weren't listening, TJ. He had just taken off his trousers.
That's right, I forgot. Because he gives us when I get home, I throw my potato in the fire, then I take off my trousers. That usually takes
I remember that.
45 minutes.
An hour and 25 minutes.
But see, if it takes him an hour and 25 minutes to take off his trousers, and by that time the doorbell rings or some lady knocks on the door, right? When does he have time to take 5,000 chocolate-covered raisins and stick them down his pants? It doesn't make any sense.
Does he just trust the guy that gave him the 5,000 raisins, or did he count them too?
Well, he got so the 2 sacks he's carrying. One is the that's why he gets that many peanuts or raisins or whatever the hell it was. Right. Is because he wants it not to be lopsided for him. He wants the evenly distributed weight.
Because he couldn't take the potatoes and put them in his other hand, left hand.
I think some people live alone for many specific reasons, and this man gave us quite a few to consider as to why he's
Let me
alone.
ask you this though, and I know the three of us are not chefs, so I would not consider either one of you Gordon Ramsay or Guy Fieri, or however you say his name, Guy Fieri. Sorry, Guy, I'm just being a shit. But like when I cook a potato, I never look at the furnace, take the potato, don't wrap it in foil or nothing, and just go, yeet.
How is he getting the potato back out of there?
That's what I want to know. Does he have a pair of tongs somewhere?
No,
Does he reach in there and get it?
You know, and that's the thing. If he buys like a bag of potatoes and a bag of raisins, right? Still, my question: why stick 5,000 of them down your underpants because someone knocks at the door? It doesn't make any sense. Like, I get it. This guy lives alone for a reason. And this is one of those reasons. It's like, well, it's Tuesday. Might as well stick some raisins down my drawers.
Can you just think for just a second if you heard the knock at the door and let's take something common usage in your kitchen right now. Let's go Kraft Singles American cheese. You heard a knock at the door and you're like, huh, they're after my cheese. I better stick them all in my underwear.
You know, you're just giving me ideas for the next time, like Jehovah's Witnesses knock on the door.
I thought you was here for my cheese and my underpants.
When that lady opened the door, if he had panties full of these 5,000 chocolate-covered raisins, it looked like he had just blown out his diaper. And like she's, to his credit, I believe he should hold a gun on her because she seemed very flirtive and interested in the fact
I would absolutely count your raisins.
No, ma'am, you do not count people's ass raisins when they come out. And I do like that there's like this weird, like you could tell that he kind of like either clenched or relaxed and then felt a raisin drop.
Yes.
And that's
There's
where
so
he
much
has
going
like
on.
He has like the moment of clarity and like a tear rolls down his eye.
You lied to me.
But what he didn't
never
check to
mind.
see if it was a raisin. What if it was just a poop? What if,
What if he just
He's
what if
old.
some of those other 4,999 were?
So listen, when you have to poop and it turns out to be a fart, it's called a shart, right?
Correct.
But if you poop and it turns out to be a pellet, is it a shellet?
Yeah, let's
I mean,
go.
because like
No,
we all
it's
have
a chocolate-covered raisin.
We here on Rage You Nerds want to know what you think.
By the way, Rage You Nerds here. What is it when you poop and it's a pellet? Is it a shelllet? Is it a pellet? Let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, smash the dingy.
That
How do you
one
feel
could probably
when you poop?
that one could probably find its way onto TikTok. I feel like that one could be a definite YouTube short. What time are we at? 52 minutes.
It's probably time for a
52
BRB because I'm gonna pee.
men's
That didn't
poop
intend to rhyme.
pellet. I don't think I spelled
Sorry,
pellet
Jared.
right.
I'm still searching for poop pellet.
Yeah, no, I had a timestamp. I need to be better at timestamping stuff that we say so that way I can find it. Otherwise,
Speaking of which, before
chances are I won't find it.
well, I think I may have mentioned this.
On Austin Powers. Oh shit.
Yeah, baby.
No. Where he says something, can you do it a little bit, whatever? And he's like, yeah, baby.
Yeah. She's getting a massage. He's massaging her shoulders.
Oh,
He's
a little bit lower.
lower. He's like, how does that feel, baby? She's like, lower. How does that feel, baby?
Smash the dinghy.
I love that humor, man. Because that's like airplane
It's great.
humor. That's
All right,
there we go. Goodbye.